Is Marvel running out of money for Avengers Doomsday? Can they no longer afford RDJ? That's what we're hearing, and the Russo brothers taking action, cutting 15% of the production staff even before reshoots have begun. Today we'll tell you why the MCU is coming undone, and this is unlike anything Kevin Feige has ever seen before. Hello folks, welcome back. It is a beautiful day and we're happy that you've come our way. The sun is shining and we're here grinding through, giving you the news you need to know to understand the hallowed halls of Hollyweird. Hey Disney, we're looking at you. Folks, if you see the hype button, the time is always ripe to hit the hype. Hit subscribe, and if we have not yet earned a like from you, well, we'd appreciate it right now. The Russo brothers are getting the shock of a lifetime. We've never seen anything like this over at Marvel. Mass layoffs hitting the production company as the movie is being made. Say what? That's right, it's Out of That Park Place by Marvin Montanaro. If you're not yet bookmarked to the website, well, you should be. Mass layoffs hit Avengers Doomsday production company as Russo brothers cut 15% of the staff. As Marvel Studios ramps up production on Avengers Doomsday, one of the film's key production partners is quietly shedding staff with mass layoffs. The AGBO, sometimes called AGBO, the independent studio founded by Joe and Anthony Russo, has confirmed layoffs impacting roughly 15% of its workforce at a time when you'd think they'd be working as hard as they could. This is about 20 employees, and we never take joy at anyone losing their jobs. According to reporting from Deadline, the move comes as the Russo brothers are actively developing Marvel's next major ensemble blockbuster, raising uncomfortable questions about priorities, studio bloat, and the current economics of Hollywood's blockbuster machine. While AGBO has framed the decision as a realignment, the timing places these Avengers Doomsday layoffs squarely in the middle of Marvel's most high-profile production push since Endgame. All right, panel, here's the question for you. Culture, I go to you first on this one. We've never seen this before for anything Marvel. We've talked about how expensive this movie is likely to be. Maybe the most expensive movie ever made because of the cast and the crew and what they got to do to pay these people. We could be looking at a film that needs a $1.5 billion box office haul for a break even. And even that would depend on how much the percentages are with China. And it looks to me like somebody somewhere is getting scared. And now they're cutting at a time you would never, ever, ever see Marvel in the past doing so. Your thoughts on this one, Culture?
Well, I think it's disturbing because if you know anything about film production, and in particular this film, Avengers Doomsday, you know that they are set to go through their reshoot schedule in April. So they're doing layoffs ahead of reshoots. And they're going to need like several days and several staff to actually make this work out. So I've never heard of this before. I'm confused. So this is surprising. Whoever broke this news, kudos to them. I think it was Marvin. And like I said, if this is the case, we're going into this with still 50% of the cast unrevealed for this movie.
Yeah, but we know
how are they doing this?
Tom Holland, Hugh Jackman. I mean, we know they can try to. Oh, we surprised you. Yeah, it's Tom Holland. Oh, yeah, we never saw that coming.
Zendaya. I mean, obviously. So looking at this, Joe and Anthony Russo, they've made some jokes in the past. What's his name? Martin Scorsese. Yes, I just watched his name, Martin Scorsese, talking about his dog Oscar or whatever, and then Joe and Anthony Russo coming through and talking about their dog Box Office. You know, there've been some smug jokes here and there, but on the success of their production company because they were in charge of Infinity War and Endgame, so the biggest movies of all time, and they did a fine job with them. But if we're looking at probably the most expensive movie that has ever been made, and then its sequel, which may outclass it, or maybe its second sequel, which we still think is on the horizon. Maybe Avengers Forever might be the name of that one. This is something where I wonder, how much money are they spending? Are they seeing the fact that Avatar 3 didn't do that well and was outclassing Doomsday in fan interest? I wonder if there are things being pulled back behind the scenes that are causing this. Or maybe it's just a readjustment because they hired on too many people and they're switching everything to AI and they're just going to let that fly. I don't know.
Maybe. But it is very interesting that at a time when post-production needs to kick in and the reshoots need to happen, that's when they're cutting these people loose. That's a very strange time to do this. If we look at a recent article from Screen Rant, it came out about 3 days ago. It says Avengers Doomsday's premise makes the film's budget challenge look especially tricky. It says Avengers Doomsday current setup appears to make anything short of the film having one of the franchise's highest budgets to date look borderline impossible. Indeed, many budget predictions of the film imagine this number to sit between Avengers Infinity's Wars reported $300 million budget and Avengers Endgame's own reported $400 million budget, with some estimating even higher than that. Folks, if you think that it's less than Endgame, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, just inflation. There's no way. So we're talking about a movie that likely has a $500 million budget or more. And that's before we even get to the marketing spin they're going to put on this thing, okay? And what is all this in? Avengers Doomsday hidden box office challenge is even more important than its $1 billion plus hopes. That's the article that's here on Screen Rant, talking about how, oh man, how are they going to do it? They need almost 4 times its budget to match the series' previous notes. There is no way. The whole thing is misleading. This is a hugely expensive film that needs to get $2 billion just to probably break even. And they put themselves in this spot. Nat, they're already pulling back. They're already trying to find ways to cut. And we think there's more to this. But Nat, I think that 2025 has scared the hebetus out of them. I think what Avatar did has scared them. I think that there's nothing outside of animation that has done well in this last year. And now they're getting the shakes on this. What say you?
Yeah, I think I agree with the whole maybe it's, but like they just can't continue the way they were doing. But also we know that they're coming out of, hopefully, probably not, an era where they were hiring a lot of bloat. Like there was too much bloat within the company and within Disney as well. So maybe they're seeing that could have been a problem, but I don't know. I'd go with the route with maybe they're just going with AI, because in the end, that would probably be cheaper. Not better, but cheaper.
Well, just think about this, okay? Think about this. 15% is not a small amount for them to be cutting, and in the middle of production. Now, why would they have to cut the 15%? Folks, who's paying their bills? Disney.
Look, I mean, this 15% layoff is like 20 people, and I think they're referring to like staff, production, below the line investment. So first of all, I mean, this has to be made public because they're doing the majority of the work in the UK. In fact, they just were shooting some things over this last weekend in Greenwich. So some World War II scenes, but are they out of money for the production? Look, we've speculated, I think accurately so, that this is going to be. That some of the stuff that we're going to see that is going to be shot, not just with the reshoots, but have already been shot, is also going to appear perhaps in another film or two that are down the road. So with what the Russos are trying to do is assemble, something that's coherent and easily followable with the timeline and makes sense. And they're maybe shooting scenes out of order for a reason. And maybe that's a contributing factor to not just the scale of the reshoots that I was just talking about, but also to like the need or maybe not the need for the amount of staff that they have for given parts of the project. So that's the only thing I can arrive at is there's a financial incentive to get rid of 20 bodies.
Let's play it this way. Does anybody think that back when they were making Endgame or Infinity War, that they had to say, oh man, we're going to cut back? Or do you think Disney was telling them, whatever you need, make the movie, whatever you need, we got it. Marvel's going to make this money, whatever you need. And now, here we are, a year away from this big film that will determine the future of Marvel, and they're like, oh man, we got to cut big time. The spigot turned off. The faucet has been, they've shut it down. Somebody somewhere stopped paying all the money. Somebody said, no, we got to be lean. Why do you have to be lean? Because things are not looking the way that they had anticipated when they started making this thing. Phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, right? Phase 3 was great. 4 was on the floor. Phase 5 is a dive, and phase 6 has been sick, and they're done. They got to figure out a way to get out of this.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. There are 3 of you here that are, would remember better than the old man here.
Oh, we know you're wrong. Go ahead.
But the directors.
Yes.
And Robert Downey Jr.'s salary alone is $160 million for this.
That's why I'm saying it cannot be this nonsense that we're reporting. It might be upwards of 300 million. Like, come on.
Well, they brought back Chris Evans. He's not cheap.
180, I believe, is the figure. Not counting the fact that they're going to be paid on the back end as well. I'm sure they got points on it, but yes.
Oh, I'm sure I told you I was wrong. I knew I'd get corrected, but I'm just saying is like there's a long list of people, and that's despite the fact that some people have come out and says, "Oh, I'm absolutely not in this," and some of them, maybe are akin to the lies that Chris Evans was telling.
How much did Ian McKellen cost? How much did Patrick Stewart cost? How much is Chris Evans costing? How much is folks? Come on, these people don't show
Alan
up.
Cumming, Rebecca Romaine. I mean, we could go through a laundry list of just all of these names we know for a fact.
$multi-million contracts. Just get a calculator, man. It's not hard.
Yeah, well, $250 million before the cameras roll easily.
Golly, gee. Oh, man.
Yeah. So, hey, Russo brothers, you know what you got to do? You got to mean to be lean. And yet again, folks, we have come to the end. But what a video it has been, and we hope you agree. Folks, if you had a good time with us, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. We care about your thoughts. Folks, we also want to invite you to partake in thatparkplace.com. Of course, www. You get the idea. Thatparkplace.com. It is the website telling the truth, and it is a rising star across the web for pop culture news coverage and analysis. Go over there and bookmark it today. Folks, we're bookmarking you as a great guest that we appreciate. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, folks, you better believe it, keep having fun.